Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear and the video is clear, please type as much in the chat box. If you can hear me, if everything is clear, please type yes in the chat box. Audio should be clear, video should be clear. We are here to discuss RBI Grade B 2020, NABARD Grade A 2020 and 2021 Economics and Social Issues MCQs. We'll be looking at the kind of questions that have been asked in the examination in this particular session. We will also be seeing certain other, we will also be looking at the theory component around those MCQs, okay? And in the lectures in this particular series, macroeconomic identities. I'm hoping and assuming that you have watched those lectures, you have benefited from those lectures. We are coming out regularly with these economics and social issues lectures. If everything is clear, if the audio is clear and the video is clear, I request you to type yes in the comment section. Right, so everything should be good. Okay, Nikhil Gupta, hi, all good. Abin, all clear. Kajal, yes. Mitesh, yes. Abhilasha, good evening. Rimple, good evening. Sikun, good evening. Priya, hi. Harsh, all right, so we are all ready to begin. Jagriti Chadda, good evening. Right, so let us begin. I would like to place an important observation over here, right? So far as your RBI exam and your NABARD exam is concerned, there are two types of questions that can be asked in the exam. There can be conceptual questions and there can be factual questions. Now, for various reasons, I don't want to get into the reasons, but for various reasons, people may have this tendency to neglect one or the other. Like for example, if let us say that I have affinity towards, conceptually understanding things, and I'm not so good at, let us say, memorizing things, in that particular instance, I may, tend towards being more conceptual than factual. And if I have a tendency to just mug things up and to just learn them up, so I may tend towards being more factual than being conceptual. Whereas these examinations require us to do both the things, and that is what in EduTap we are trying to emphasize on. So in this particular session, I'll be placing questions which are pretty factual. So if you look at lecture 2, and I will be placing questions which have been asked in the exam. So it is not as if that, I'm doing whatever I just feel like doing, just for the heck of it. No, we follow the exam, and the exam is our Bible. The kind of questions that have been asked in the exam is our Bible. So that is what guides us at EduTap. And that is what we are going to do in this session. If you go to lecture 2, you will see that a lot of conceptual questions have been asked or been discussed by me. And in lecture 3, I'll be showing you exact questions from exact exam, similar questions that have been asked in the exam, and how factual they are. So let us begin our discussion. Stay home, stay safe, stay online. In India, there is a resurgence of coronavirus. The number of cases are increasing dramatically. Do not put yourself in harm's way. I request you to abide by this. Whatever preparation has to be done can be done safely at home, and it can be done online, and it can be very easily and very conveniently to be done on EduTap's platform. Do benefit from it. Moving ahead, let us consider question number 1. Now this question, Monetary Policy Committee is headed by, has been asked twice, in 2016 as well as in 2017. This is a pretty factual question. There cannot be a more factual question than this. Some may say that this is a ridiculously easy question. Some may say that this is not an easy question. So it depends whether you have actually come across this fact or not. So if you know a particular fact, it becomes very easy. And if you don't know a particular fact, it becomes impossible. We are coming out with our current affairs magazine, which is EduTap's magazine, like it's a world famous magazine for current affairs, which covers a lot of sections of your general awareness as well as your ESI and so on and so forth as per the needs of the examination. So if you're talking about NABARD, we cover ARD, right? If you're talking about, other examinations, so basically it's a comprehensive kind of a product, right? And in that you will be getting these kind of things a lot. And even in our notes, you'll be getting these kind of things a lot. And you're seeing very clearly that this kind of questions are being asked in the exam. Now, without any further ado, let us see your answers for question number 1 and take our discussion further, right? So, as expected, all of you all have said that the answer is C, right? Except for a few exceptions. Now, there may be people who may get even this one wrong, and there is absolutely no need whatsoever to feel demoralized. I repeat this at least once in my every session because it is my moral duty to do so. Long back, my professor told me that the purpose of solving questions, at least in the initial phases of preparation, is to learn, is to explore new ideas, is to get your concepts clear. So even if we are getting all questions wrong, And at the end of this session, I'm going to give you good 5 questions for homework, which you will be solving and commenting. Good 5 questions. And if you are giving the wrong answers, I will give the right answer to you. And if you are giving the right answers, I will appreciate the answers. So the idea of our sessions is to learn and not to feel demoralized or demotivated at any cost at whatsoever. So the answer to this question, right, before jumping to the answer, you have to consider one thing. It can be deputy governor, finance minister, governor, and eminent economist, obviously. So it's not as if that, I have said something new, but what I'm trying to point out to you over here is that while preparing for the exam, you will come across various committees, right? Which are like, very theoretical kind of, which belongs to the static part of the syllabus. So like, for example, there is FSDC, there is monetary policy committee, there is, cabinet committee on economic affairs, so on and so much. So what I'm trying to say is that you will come across various committees, right? So when you come across various committees, it becomes your bounden duty to understand who is the head of that committee, to understand what that committee is doing, what is its mandate, and what are its roles and responsibilities. The purpose of these questions is not just to solve them. The purpose of these questions is to understand how to sort of design our preparation. So whenever you come across any committee, make sure that you note the head of the committee, you note the roles and responsibilities of the committee, and when was the committee set up. So the answer to this question is yes, C, and many of you all, 99% of you all have gotten this right. Let us move ahead to question number 2. RBI adopted CPI combined as the indicator for inflation targeting on the recommendations of which of the following committees? Now this is again a committee based question, and again it is a previous year question which has been asked in NABARD Grade A 2018 examination has asked you this kind of a question exactly on these lines. Okay, so now you need to be able to tell me which committee recommended that CPI combined should be used as an indicator for inflation targeting so far as the monetary policy is concerned. Okay, Nachiket Moore committee, Raghuram Rajan committee, Urjit Patel committee, Usha Thorat committee, or none of the above. So what is RBI's mandate? RBI's mandate or RBI's responsibility is to ensure price stability in India even while keeping the objectives of growth in mind. That is RBI's responsibility. How can RBI keep prices under control? RBI can keep prices under control if your consumer price index is under control. Right now, you know that just the way we can measure temperature using various thermometers, right? There can be an industrial thermometer, household thermometer, right? There can be a mercury thermometer, there can be an electronic thermometer. Similarly, there can be different types of inflation indices. There can be a wholesale price index, there can be a consumer price index. You can have a consumer price index rural, you can have a consumer price index urban, you can have a consumer price index combined. We have covered all these things in our notes. You can have various kinds of indices. Within consumer price index, you can have CPI for industrial workers, you can have CPI for agricultural laborers, and so on and so forth. It is very important to know about these inflation indices. Now the point is that out of these 10 inflation indices, which inflation index is to be used or index is to be used, so that if RBI has to control inflation, right? So we will be measuring inflation using which rod? We will be measuring inflation using which tool? Which scale? So if CPI combined is going to be used to measure inflation and RBI has to keep inflation under control as indicated by CPI combined, then who made the recommendation is the question. I'm sure that many of you all have given the right answer over here. I can see the answers over here. Harsh, Gunjan, Abin, Abhilasha, Priya, Neha, as well as Nikhil, Jitendra, Sikun. You all have all given the right answers, right? If you all are bothered about the answer, that whether your answer is correct or not, many of your answers are correct. Just bear with me. What I am trying to highlight over here is that in this kind of a question, now this is squarely and bangly coming out of your current affairs, okay? In the sense that 10 to 15 to 20 committees related to economics are in news at any given point of time. Okay, and what those committees have been set up for, what is the agenda of that committee should be known to you, and what is the recommendation of that committee should be known to you, right? So these committees are very important committees, right? The names that I have given, I've just given random names just so that to give you the idea. But any and every committee that you come across in the news, you must at least know the objective of that committee, because surely a question will be asked on that in your examination. This is a definitive statement. If there are 10 committees, question will be asked. So the answer to this question is C, and yes, many of you all have gotten the answers right. There is no doubt, like Pankaj, Priya, Lakshmikant, Kajal, Vivek, you all have all gotten the answers right, and I want you to adopt this kind of an approach. I'll give you a methodology over here. Okay, Now, when you are preparing for these examinations, particularly for RBI and NABARD, okay, there are many names that you come across. You come across which may be having relationship with general awareness as well as having relationship with economics. Okay, so what you should do is that you should write down. You should take a piece of paper and you should write down all the names that you come across. So if you come across names of, let us say, 10 committees, write down the names of heads of all the committees, right? And you should adopt a similar kind of an approach even for your other dimensions, wherein you consolidate like this. So by that logic, you will be able to have all the names in one place and you will know the relevance of that name. So if this person is an awardee, or this person is the new MDC, or this person is this committee, or this person has recommended this, or this person has done this, okay, yeah, this person is the head of the monetary policy committee, so on and so forth. So you should have all these names together, right? Moving ahead, we are within the domain of monetary policy. I'll show you one more question, which is again a very factual question, a number-based question, which has been asked in RBI Grade B 2017. The question is, which of the following option correctly defines the inflation target set for Reserve Bank of India under the inflation targeting framework? We just discussed that RBI's primary mandate is to ensure price stability in India even while keeping the objective of growth in mind. Okay, and we have also mentioned that we will be using CPI combined to see whether the inflation is under control or not, to target the inflation. So if RBI has to target the inflation, it will target the inflation based upon the measurement of CPI combined. But what should be the inflation? Because we have to maintain inflation in India, so it should be maintained around which level? So this is the numbers that I have placed. These are the numbers that I have placed in front of you. CPI combined should be 4% with upper tolerance limit of 7% and a lower tolerance limit of 2%. It should be 5%, upper tolerance limit of 6%, lower tolerance limit of 2%. It should be 3% with an upper tolerance limit of 4% and lower tolerance limit of 2%. It should be 4% with an upper tolerance limit of 6% and a lower tolerance limit of 2%, or none of the above, right? So based upon this, if I have to show you, like, what is my learning, what is my takeaway for the examination, right, going ahead, there are very bleak chances, there are very low chances, let me be very honest, that exact this kind of question will be repeated by the RBI in forthcoming examination. There are very bleak chances. It doesn't happen like that. But what will surely happen is that numbers will be asked in your examination. At various levels of your examination, be it phase 1 or phase 2, you will be questioned on numbers. If you want to prepare really well, what you should do is that you should consolidate all numbers in one document. So if you have all places or all names in one document, then you should have all numbers in one document. That okay, this much is the loan that we have taken from ADB, this much is the loan that we have taken from World Bank, this much is the loan that we have given to Nepal, or this is the number, this is the growth number, and this is the CPI number, this is the IIP number, this is the WPI number. We cover all of that. But you also have to, whatever we cover in our magazines and in our notes, that is, we have covered it. But how do you ensure that you have it in your head? By consolidating all the numbers together. So once you have gone through the basic syllabus once and you know what is what and what is not, based upon that you start consolidating the numbers. And once the numbers are there with you, it will take hardly 2 hours to revise all the possible numbers of the last 6 to 8 to 10 months, and you're set for the examination. I can see that many of you all have given very different kind of answers over here. Okay, I can see that okay, majority of us have given answer D, okay, which is also very good. That Chandrasekhar, you have given, Likita, you have given 4 plus minus 2, right? And Priya, you have given D, 4 plus minus 2, 4 plus minus 2, 4 plus minus 2, right? So many of us have given the right set of answers over here, and I'm very happy to note that these are the kind of factual questions that you have to be prepared for, and answer to this question indeed is D. So by these 3 questions, I have been able to establish the kind of previous year questions that have been asked so far as monetary policy chapter is concerned. There are a few more questions that have been asked. I'll be bringing out those questions in the next lecture. So I want you to be present in that next lecture also, because I'm going to bring out a more number of questions. But what I'm trying to convey to you over here, in what is my agenda in this lecture, is to show to you the kind of conceptual, factual questions that have been asked by RBI in actual examination. Now, based upon this, I'm going to place a little tougher question in front of you, and be very careful. If you don't know it, don't attempt it. The question has been placed in front of you. With reference to the Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of India, which of the following options is correct? It is a 12-member body. It is reconstituted every year. It must meet at least 3 times per year, every year. The quorum for the meeting of the MPC is 3 members, or none of the above. Now this is a relatively difficult question. In 2017, there was a question based on monetary policy committee. Now many a times in these memory based questions in which the papers are not given out, what happens is that it becomes really difficult to give out the actual question. But there was a question on monetary policy committee in 2017. So by this question what I have done is, and I'm going to give you a very detailed explanation, so those who don't know the answer, rather than giving the wrong answer, hold your horses, don't give the answer, because I'm going to give the complete explanation for this question to you, a very detailed explanation of monetary policy committee, and based on that you can answer. Now the point is that we should have very thorough knowledge of all of these things, which is what through EduTap, through our ESI component which we are trying to deliver in our classes, in our notes to you, right? So is it a 12-member body? Is it reconstituted every year? Should it meet at least 3 times every year? Right? Quorum for the meeting is 3 members. What is it? Right? So I see that. Let me see what the answers are over here. Okay. And all right, as expected, I'm seeing that there are a diversity of answers over here. Right? Okay. Now you are Pranav is giving answer E, Akshay is giving answer D, Dinesh is giving answer C. Okay. And so there are a lot of there is a lot of khichdi over here, there is a lot of mix and match over here, right? Because nobody is pretty sure about these aspects. Okay, now let us understand one by one everything, and then based upon that we will be able to arrive at the right answer. Okay, let me put key facts related to monetary policy committee in front of you. Okay, so you know that monetary policy committee has been established and RBI governor is the chairperson of the monetary policy committee, and RBI governor has a casting vote. What is the meaning of casting vote? I will explain to you. Deputy governor is also a part of the monetary policy committee. So which deputy governor? The deputy governor who is in charge of monetary policy is part of the monetary policy committee. Okay. 3 Government of India nominees are also a part of monetary policy committee. So these nominees of Government of India, they have a term of 4 years. They are ineligible for reappointment, right? And they are appointed by a selection cum search committee. And who are the members of that selection cum search committee has also been discussed by us in our notes. So the idea is that this monetary policy committee consists of basically your 3 members, and there is another member of RBI which is nominated by the board of RBI. So there is RBI governor, okay, there is RBI deputy governor who is in charge of monetary policy. There are 3 RBI Government of India nominees, and there is 1 nominee of the RBI board. So totally there are 6 members. Now what may happen is that if these 6 members are voting as to what should be India's monetary policy, should the repo rate be increased or should the repo rate be decreased? And do not worry, if you don't know the meaning of repo rate, I'm going to discuss exactly that in the next session. So if should the repo rate be increased or decreased? Should the marginal standing facility be increased or decreased? Should CRR be increased or decreased? Should SLR be increased or decreased? Do not worry, we'll be discussing exactly all of this in the next session. So if let us say 3 members say yes, it should be increased, 3 members say no, it should not be increased, in that case governor will have a casting vote which will be like a tiebreaker, right? So no longer is the monetary policy in India decided by only the governor, it is decided by a committee. Now this committee must meet at least 4 times in a year. The quorum for meetings is 4 members. That means at least 4 members should be present, only then the meeting can happen. If less than 4 members are present out of 6, the meeting cannot happen. Each member of the monetary policy committee has 1 vote, right? And there are certain guys who are ineligible for appointment. So your MPs and MLAs and government employees, and employees of boards and committees, or all of these people who may have a conflict of interest with RBI, they cannot be appointed on the monetary policy committee, and nobody above the age of 70 is allowed to become a member of the monetary policy committee. These are the most important facts related to monetary policy committee that you should always know, because at any point of time a question based on this can be asked. So if this is known to you, okay, now I'm not going to allow you to assimilate this much, because once I have said it, you should have it in your mind. Now based on this, you look at the question that has been framed for you. Is it a 12-member body? Because these are your keywords. This is exactly where you need to sort of focus upon. Is it reconstituted every year? Should it meet at least 3 times every year? Is the quorum 3 members? Now what do you think is the answer? Now many of us did not give the answer, many of us gave the answers wrong. This is an opportunity for all of us to give the answers right. I request all of you to give the right answers over here now, right? So let us see. Let us see the right answers. Okay, so Likhita, you have given answer E. Lakshmikant Chauhan, you have given answer E. Nikhil Gupta had given answer E. Dinesh, you had given answer E, right? And whatever is the identify all the wrong statements over here. So let us see what the answers are. Okay. Okay, I see that there is a lot of cross talking, which is very, very good. You all are interacting with each other. Many of us have gotten the wrong answers wrong initially, but have now been able to give the right answers over here. So let us see what the options are, answers are. Okay, Abin has given answer E. Mithesh Sawant has given answer E. All right, let us see some more answers, and then I will be displaying the answer in front of you. Sikun has given answer E. Nilesh Suryavanshi has given answer E. Aman Jain has given answer E. Right. All right, this is very, very good. This is very encouraging, right? So answer to this question indeed is E. Why is the answer E? Because it's a six-member body. It is not reconstituted every year, right? Because the members who are appointed, right? They have a 4-year term. Abhilasha has given answer E, right? And it must meet 3 times a year. That is wrong. That is completely wrong because it must meet at least 4 times. Quorum for the meeting of the MPC is 4 members, and therefore the answer should be E. Now, without preparation, right, without thorough preparation, these kind of questions will be very difficult to attempt in the examination. There is no concept involved over here, unfortunately. So you have to rely upon your memory. You have to learn it up. So the agenda of my session was to show to you questions that have been asked in the examination and show the factualness of those questions and place a relatively challenging question in front of you. So we have to, we at EduTap, we believing in solving and solving not only easy but moderate as well as difficult questions, because by that approach we are able to be ready for the examination, and that is the key. Right now I'm going to place a slide of homework questions in front of you. I'm assuming and hoping that you have gone through lecture 1 and 2, and I have discussed a lot of things in lecture 1 and 2, and based upon that, as well as based upon the previous year questions that the RBI has asked in examination or NABARD has asked in examination, I want you to take a screenshot of this and I want you to comment, and please do not be in a hurry to comment wrong answers. Okay, take 10 minutes, do adequate research, go through EduTap notes, go through your notes, go through your knowledge, go through Google, whichever source, right, and come out with the right answers. 5 homework questions have been placed in front of you. If you get all 5 questions wrong, very good. You learn 5 new things. If one goes wrong, very good. If two goes wrong, very good. If three go wrong, very good. If anything goes wrong, very good. The idea is to comment the right answers. Net national product is equals to GDP plus what minus what? GDP minus depreciation is equals to what? Term animal spirits was coined by famous economist dash. So who coined the term animal spirit? This is the question which has been asked in RBI Grade B 2019 in one way or the other, right? So they may have given options or they may not have given options, but the answer should be known to you, right? Second question is also a previous year RBI question. Net national product at factor cost is equals to net national product at market price minus what plus what? National income estimates in India are released by dash. These are the questions which have been asked, and these are the homework questions. I request you to take a screen grab of this particular slide and give the right answers, comment the right answers. I will acknowledge all the comments, and I will share the right answers with you individually also. Right? With this, we'll bring our lecture to an end. We'll be meeting again on Tuesday at 2 p.m. wherein we will be discussing all about repo rate, CRR, SLR, MSF, and all kinds of monetary policy tools. With this, we'll bring our lecture to an end. Thank you very much for your patience and time. All the very best. Jai Hind.